And now, the moment you've all been waiting for.
I liked that at the beginning of your rant, you were so incensed that all you could say was Thor! Thor!
Thor!
3 times!
Yeah. His tongue stopped working.
Why are there horses in Thor?
This could be a great movie if they had dwarves and a dragon.
Good evening and welcome to Is It a Bicycle? Season 8, Episode 13, the original and bestest ever TV and movie podcast. My name is Stephen Wrigley and I'll be your host for this evening. Beside me I have a man whose only fitness goal is to look good enough where if he ever posed naked, people wouldn't see it and say, wow, that's so brave. And Mike, he's done it. Also beside
Isn't
me,
that everyone's goal?
also beside me is a lady who this week said it's called almond milk because no one would buy nut juice. Shona O'Flaherty. This week,
love almond milk.
This week we hope to discuss some movies in the shape of Insurgent and Robot Overlords, and some TV in the form of Bloodline. We'll also have some news and some previews, and coming to a bicycle near you. So how are we doing?
Fantastic, Steve.
Hi, guys.
Good. Any crack? Any news? See anything that wasn't on it, Stephen? No.
I was going to say, Mike looked like he was going to say something, so I was like, alright, this looks important.
No,
I better hold my breath.
I watched a couple of crappy B movies, but I'm not going to mention it.
Nothing good then. They were all below 2.5 on the IMDb.
Yeah,
scale,
you're looking at 1.5. So,
oh no.
I did
Not
watch
worth
Blood and
mentioning.
Chrome again. Remember the Battlestar Galactica prequel?
Yeah.
That wasn't a bad show.
It wasn't a bad
Yeah,
show.
I wish they'd made more of them.
Yeah.
Because there's any amount of before Battlestar Galactica time they could put on.
Well, that's the thing. There could be a pre-reboot.
They could.
Yeah. I'd say it wouldn't be, what do you call it, off the cards in the next few years, you know?
Yeah,
Netflix
hopefully.
might pick it up.
Yeah.
Go Netflix.
Yeah. They could get Katie Sackhoff to play Katie Sackhoff's mother in it.
Just play whatever she likes when she's in it.
Yeah.
It'd be great.
I've been making my way through, I finally got around to watching Better Call Saul. After we watched the first episode,
Yeah.
I just got busy watching other things, probably for this podcast.
Yeah.
And then last week, I finally kind of got into the episodes. I haven't seen a whole bunch. I think we might be at like episode 4 or something.
Mm-hmm.
But it's really good.
It is, isn't it?
I know that you were saying that the last time you guys talked about it was a few weeks ago. I think when I wasn't here, but and you didn't want to say anything because you're like, I don't want to give it away for anybody. I want people to enjoy it.
Yeah.
And it is the one thing I will say is that I like that it is a bit darker than maybe the pilot would have suggested. Like it kind of goes there-ish, like what you would expect from Breaking Bad, and I would expect as the season goes on to see more of that. And that wasn't really hinted at in the pilot.
Yeah.
So I like that I was pleasantly surprised by the fact that you're just like, oh shit, what is happening?
Yeah.
So that show is really good.
It is, isn't it? And
News to nobody. Better Call Saul is a good show.
would you agree that it's in part that he's a likable character? You know, that you're rooting for him. You know.
I think what I like about him is that he seems at his core spineless and scared, which I can relate to. So I support him growing a pair.
Yeah.
I think that's what I like about him.
Yeah, he's trying.
Yeah. I'm just really fascinated by this, him turning into someone who's kind of terrified by the baddies to what he becomes in in Breaking Bad, where he's kind of laughing at Walter White when he shows up for the first time, and he's become more jaded at that point, even about death threats and stuff. So it's really good. And we've also been watching Community, which I know I'm years behind coming around to. I had a friend of mine who got me season 1 at Christmas time, told me I had to watch it. Yeah. And I didn't really like it at first, but I'm kind of coming around to it, and it's enjoyable. And I see now that there are 6 seasons, so I have lots ahead of me. So,
Nice.
Community.
6 seasons already. I didn't realize there's that long since we reviewed it.
Every
Holy
season,
crap,
apparently.
we're getting old.
Wow.
Oh.
Every season, apparently, it almost gets cancelled. And then
Yeah.
I think it did get cancelled, and then Netflix picked it up. So it's season 6 is on Netflix. And,
Wow.
Oh, did you fork out to watch WrestleMania at the weekend?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, I saw it advertised on Sky. So you need to get Sky Sports and then pay-per-view on top of your subscription.
Right, yeah.
I thought, fuck that.
Yeah. My wrestling fascination goes as far as, me waking up on Saturday waiting for the coffee to make.
Yeah.
And WrestleMania or wrestling is on TV and, I enjoy it, but not so much that I would
fork out for it.
Yeah. Or, like as our dear friend Shaun Leonard has.
Yeah, he actually got on a plane to go and see it.
He's there tonight.
He's at
WrestleMania tonight, isn't he?
I thought it was
California.
I thought it was at the weekend he went.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was this. Yeah. I thought it was tonight. All right, okay.
He's just assuming he's going to be stuck with Homeland Security trying to get back
afterwards.
Regardless, he has better things to be doing tonight than talking to us.
What's her name, son? Take off your pants.
What was I going to say in relation to Shaun? Something about WrestleMania. Oh yeah, sorry, it wasn't in relation. It was WrestleMania. Was that the one that where The Rock had Ronda Rousey?
I believe Ronda Rousey was there. Yeah.
And they threw another couple out of the ring or something.
Mm.
Yeah. I just thought it was a funny sort of crossover thing. She's now doing WWE.
Yeah.
Guest spot.
Yeah.
And she's in movies, and she's the champion.
Yeah.
And obviously, so she's training a shitload, and she's doing the tour.
Yeah.
And so on to promote fights with Busy Girl.
Well,
I'll tell you, Jennifer Lawrence better watch out. She, Jennifer Lawrence has achieved a lot more than Shaun Leonard in her young life, but I think Ronda could actually overtake her.
Speaking of UFC Roadshow, it was in town promoting Conor McGregor and Jose Aldo.
I saw that, yeah.
Absolutely ridiculous.
It's a fucking pantomime at this stage.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It was quite embarrassing, I thought. The Q&A session, I mean.
Yeah.
Obviously you're going to get the theatrics with Conor and Aldo in the same room. But, they had the Q&A time, and they had these guys come on and just asking the questions they're asking, and the abuse they were giving the current champion. It was really embarrassing.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It was like, why didn't you pick the questions?
No.
If you don't hand that guy the mic, it was just
really.
Oh God,
yeah. Like cringeworthy
very,
type of thing.
Very, very cringeworthy. Yeah.
It amazes me how much money they're spending on this promotional tour.
Oh yeah.
They're going pretty well all over the world.
Well, they're hoping to get like 7 million from the.
Yeah, Jesus.
Wow.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, it'll be incredible. It's going to be a big one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What else was there? Oh yeah, Malaysian Grand Prix. I left the slide. No, the only reason I want to bring it up is
I was going to say, seriously, we have to talk about the Malaysian Grand Prix?
No, I only want to bring it up because
this.
It was raining.
I'm going.
And that makes it really hard.
You bitches finished.
No.
The only reason I want to bring it up is because the first one was a couple of weeks ago, and it was a bad start to the season. It was parade. There was no racing in it, really.
Okay.
And this one was the polar opposite. It was fantastic. Shitload of racing in it. Really good racing in it. And the guys who'd been dominating last year and the first race this year didn't dominate, which made for a big change. And it was brilliant. It was great to see a good mix-up of teams and drivers and so on. So it's great. Some good new names in there. New record was set in there for the youngest ever points winner, which was kind of cool.
Okay.
Max Verstappen.
All right.
Yeah.
Fair play to him.
Was pretty cool. Yeah. Anyway, that's all.
I'm sure there is a niche category people who cared about that update.
Oh,
so.
very
Did you know, Shaun, they're fittest athletes in the world?
I know.
According to them.
You're going to be glued to the next one, I know. Yeah.
Right after golfers, is it? And darts players?
That's right, yeah. But well ahead of snooker players, though.
Don't knock snooker players. I won't hear a word said against them.
Yeah, I suppose they're armed. Better watch it.
Right. Let's start with the first of our movies. Mike, tell us about Insurgent.
You're asking Mike?
Yep.
You're some bollocks, aren't you?
Yeah, Mike, tell us.
Yeah, take the piss out of Grand Prix with it.
Insurgent is the sequel to Divergent, and stars most of the same people from the first movie. And basically, they have to keep fighting the system because the system is bad. Okay, and it doesn't allow you freedom of expression, and if you've got more to your personality than, just Gryffindor, then you you can't express yourself in this system, so it's just not fair. And people have to fight back.
I was going to say, this film is Hogwarts Goes to Hunger Games.
More or less,
Totally.
yeah. But I suppose we knew that already.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to talk too much about the plot because there isn't a whole lot of it.
I think you pretty much covered it there.
Yeah.
And that's the review done. Okay, Steve, what do you give this out of 10?
Yeah. But the most important thing that happens in this movie is that Triss cuts her hair.
I was hoping you were going to say that.
I was going to say that.
If you said anything other than Triss cuts her hair, I was going to call bullshit.
It was like,
Well done, Mike.
what was the main guy's name? Theo?
For Triss?
What is the actor?
Tobias.
Tobias.
Well, his real name is Theo, but
Theo, yeah. So Theo
Mhm.
looks like he's dating a 14-year-old boy
Yep.
Yeah.
for most of it. So
Yeah.
when she cuts her hair, it was just
Uh-huh.
like, oh my god.
Yeah. Well, I
It
was
is Harry Potter or something. Yeah.
I was actually stunned at the achievement because she cuts her hair by herself in a mirror.
No, without
And she
a
gets
mirror.
this. Oh yeah, no mirror.
She looks in her reflection in a window.
Yeah, and she gets this beautiful layering in the
Did you
back.
see
First thing I said, I was in the cinema
Someone
and
gave her a number 4.
you see her pick up a pair of like rusty garden shears
Yeah.
and she snips off a long lock of hair, looking in her reflection in a window.
Yeah.
And then the next scene, you see her from the back and she's got like perfectly coiffed hair.
Yeah.
And I turned to my husband and I was just like, "That's amazing! She cut that so well, considering
Yeah.
she couldn't see it." I mean,
Yeah, and did you notice even when she cut her hair, the highlights remained just exactly as they needed to
so.
be.
You can see where this review is going.
Yeah. And I also really admired the way, her hair always looks sort of tousled in a way that it can only be tousled after about 4 hours of expert hairdressing. Just make her look a little bit shaken.
done
not
by
too
being
much,
undone.
yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Go on. Go on. Yeah. So that was your first.
Yeah. I mean, that said, I did like her hair in this movie. Yeah, I thought she's quite nice with short hair. It doesn't suit everybody, but she makes it
she's
work.
got a nice
Yeah,
face,
yeah.
so it's like, fair play.
Yeah, well,
I actually, when I first moved to
Sorry, I
Ireland,
don't see that.
my hair was long when I lived in Paris, which is where I lived before I came to Ireland. And my hair was long just because, I didn't trust my French vocabulary enough to tell a French hairdresser what I wanted done. So I never got my hair cut when I lived in Paris. So I moved to Ireland and it was long. And then I ended up cutting it really short.
Mm-hmm.
And then I looked like that 14-year-old boy that Tobias was dating in this film. It didn't suit me. Not everyone can pull it off.
We
So.
had a great thing actually when we were living abroad. We were living somewhere where we didn't speak the language,
Mm.
right?
Mhm.
And rather, well, we did try and learn, but we knew that we weren't going to learn enough for things like that, right?
Yeah.
So they had this great thing. It was a little book
Yeah.
with lots of pictures in it that covered everything.
Right.
So you could just flick to the page, haircut.
It's like a
And you
hair
just go,
book.
Short, and you just point at it.
Yeah.
That one. Yeah, you just go, grand. It was brilliant. Like, I want watermelon.
Yeah.
'Cause you're never going to learn that word,
My test for my
Great
French
idea.
ability is that when you know the word horseradish without having to look it up in French, you can consider yourself fluent. So
Oh, I see.
rather than
Fair
watermelon, horseradish was my test.
I see.
Anyways, I digress.
Yeah, so Insurgent.
Insurgent, yes. It's got a wonderful quality to it. It has fantastic dialogue like, if you die, I die.
I love
And-
them. Get her out of here.
Yeah.
How many times we've seen it. Get her out of here.
And it's a testament to the power of voice, the tonal quality. Because no matter what kind of vapid piss is coming out of your mouth, if you say it dramatically, it means so much more.
There's a lot of drama in this, all right.
There is, yes,
Yeah.
yes. But I suppose it's a continuing criticism, which was the same in the first, is that the heroine doesn't.
Jennifer Lawrence. Oh, sorry, Charlene Woodley, yeah.
She doesn't actually do anything. She's a crap hero. Basically, she stands around getting into trouble and having other people rescue her, or else other people have ideas of what to do, and she says, okay, I'll come along, and then I'll get into trouble and somebody will rescue me. And it seems like her only really unusual skill is in box opening. Which it's kind of a limited talent, you know.
She was quite athletic though in one sequence.
Yes, I'll grant you that.
Yes.
Yeah,
She's
yeah,
adept in The Sims.
What?
Mm-hmm.
She's pretty adept with The Sims.
Sims, okay.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Simulator.
Yeah.
Gotta
okay,
give
yeah.
her that.
Yeah.
Due to her divergent capabilities.
Yes.
Yeah, don't shortchange her, Mike.
I'm sorry. Yeah. I'm just jealous of people who are good at PlayStation.
Yeah.
You know?
Do you think she'd be good at water diviner?
Maybe. Yeah, maybe she can guess where the water is and then go rescue sons.
So what do you think of this?
So I read these books a while ago, and I
Did
read,
you?
yeah, I like YA literature. It's kind of one of
Oh.
my areas I'm interested in, and I actually read it shortly after. I read Hunger Games. Someone had suggested that I read the Divergent series by Veronica Roth. So the first book I really liked, and then the second book I was like, okay. And then by the third book, I was just like, fuck this book. So I think that pretty much explains my feelings about the movie. Except for the movies, I like even less than the book. So
Really?
Divergent didn't start strong. I just don't really feel Shailene Woodley as an actor so much. I just don't really get it. I thought that maybe the problem was that she was a bad actor, but I don't think it's necessarily that. You know, you see whatever range of emotion she needs to have portrayed.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure what it is, but there's something.
It's because she cut her hair. It is. I just couldn't get it out of my head that she was like a 14-year-old boy.
Well, that wasn't quite what was bothering me, but I couldn't say what it was.
I bet it was subliminally.
That was the undercurrent to
Yeah.
everything.
She was just reminding you of your bad hair day.
That's it. Yeah, exactly. My in-laws still have pictures of me with that haircut. And it's like, would you take that down, please?
Burn it.
So I had read different things about this movie in terms of reviews. I had read some saying it was better than the first movie, so it's an improvement as far as that goes. And I had heard other people say, you know, it's terrible and a waste of space.
It's quite a low bar to start.
Yeah.
Could you imagine the discussion? Like, you know, we've got to make this one better. We've got a sense of insurgency. Oh, wait a minute. There we go, insurgent. But it's got to be different. Like, oh, wait.
It's kind of a dicey title.
Yeah.
You know, especially in America, like for the last 10, 15 years, the word insurgent
Well, when
has
we
been on the news every
had
night.
it on
you know?
the news, I thought, oh, great, another Middle Eastern war movie.
Yeah.
And, yeah, wasn't what I was expecting.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of what the name of the third book is. Divergent, Insurgent.
Insurgent.
It's another.
Surgent.
It's a gent
Is
film.
it?
It's something. Insurgent. Jesus.
Trigent.
If you're near a computer, tweet us at Is It a Bicycle and tell us what the third book is called.
And we'll try to care about the answer.
So anyways, onto the movie. I forgot completely what this second book was about. Which tells you, I think, how memorable the plot line is, even from its inception, you know? Like, the first book, you remember, oh, okay, you know, the world's divided into 5 factions. It turns out she belongs to more than one. She can't be controlled, so Kate Winslett doesn't like her. And then I remember the third book because it's how everything ends. But I could not for the life of me remember what this movie was about. But now that I've seen it, I don't know that I'm a whole lot clearer. It's kind of a lot of more what happened in the first movie, where people argue and run around and... People are trying to kill Kate Winslet, and she's trying to kill them. Triss and Four are in love, and yet there is anger there and resentment, and you know, there's a great Twitter account called Brooding YA Hero.
Oh, yes, I've seen that.
That I recommend.
Excellent.
And there was
It's
a great
perfect.
there was a great tweet that I read tonight where he said, you know, I care deeply about your problems until one of my secretive problems, you know, bubbles up from the past. That trumps your problems every time. And that's kind of what's going on with Four and Triss.
It's Allegiant.
Allegiant, that's
Or
it,
else
yes.
Allegiant.
Allegiant.
Yeah, Allegiant. I was going to say about the broody thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that they did a lot of broodiness in it, and they did a lot of the same kind of reaction like emotional reaction. Like they're sitting down, they're having a lovely dinner, and they're discussing. Right, if we get the two armies and we put them together, we can be unstoppable. Right, like we can win this thing. And he's just like, nah.
Yeah,
fuck society. I just can't get over my not dead anymore mother thing. I said sorry, but I can't form an army that would be unstoppable and save the day. I can't get over my confused mother-related feelings. So then he just gets aggressively,
unnecessarily
dramatic,
angry.
Storms off to his bed.
But that seems to
where
be
he stands in the middle of the room and looks slightly downwards until someone comes to hug him.
Yeah.
But he does that and she does that later as well.
Oh, yeah.
Storms off, stands in the middle of the room.
I was just going to say that it seems to be like a dominant character trait for people in Dauntless, that they tend to have short fuses, it seems, and need... they each need their own assigned windows to stare out of angrily. So that everyone doesn't crowd around the same window.
Yeah. It's true.
And hugs. Lots of hugs.
What was the other thing? Did you notice how comedically timed the scene entrances by the next character was? Happened several times. You're just going, just in the nick of time, we arrive and save such and such a thing.
Yeah, there was a lot of kind of bursting into the room at the last minute kind of thing.
Just as they're caught,
that's true.
Yeah.
I was going to say I forget what I was going to say.
Was something about broodiness.
I don't know. Mike, were you going to say something? Maybe
I was
buy me some time to remember my opinion.
Who's our friend who did the two-night stand? He's one of the minor characters in this, Miles Teller.
Yeah.
I quite like him in this because he has this
he plays a great bollocks, doesn't he?
Yeah, he has this wonderful character arc.
Yeah.
That I just didn't see coming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is good. I think in the reviews I've read, people seem to agree with that. Miles Teller is one of the few people who, whose character and whose acting, I think, kind of brings the movie a bit to life.
Yeah,
it's true.
And I think that's because of the comedic strand. I think he sensed the fact that he was in a shit movie. So he just kind of ran with it,
It's so true. There's always this half smile just behind.
It's like
he's just
he's trying not to giggle.
Fucking gas.
He's thinking I'm getting paid how much for this?
No, wait. I'll say it like this. Watch, right. And action, right? No, sorry, just a second. I'll get it this time.
16 takes a charm.
I remember what I was going to say, Steve, about the Dauntless moodiness. That, I love how when they all go visit the Amity faction, who are the Hufflepuff of this world, and
the what?
The Hufflepuff.
Don't you know the Hufflepuff?
Harry Potter reference, man.
Sorry, I'm not a Potterist.
They're they're the group that are all based on friendship. That's kind of the most dominant character trait of Hufflepuff and of Amity. So, anyways, listen, the reference is lost on you,
no,
dear listeners.
Yeah.
I have a copy of the book in Latin I can give you.
Okay. Yeah. No, I'll go with it. Go on, yeah.
So yeah, Amity are the Hufflepuff of the Divergent world, and for a period, Triss and Four and Miles Teller and their bunch end up in the Amity compound, and because it's a compound that's based on friendship. It's kind of like a communal living space where everybody kind of toils together in the fields during the day, and then they make dinner at night time, and they eat together in a large kind of outdoor canteen, and they all sleep together sleeping on the floor in this kind of communal living space, and the sun is shining, and there's not windows or too many walls. They're living in nature, and it's so peaceful, and everyone's go in peace and eat your food, and I've never seen a group of people look so pissed off to be around surrounded by nice people who give them things for free. It's something that always rubbed me the wrong way, that Trish shows up and she's scowling the whole time she's been given her dinner and sitting down being like, the sooner we get out of here the better. And it's what do you hate about this world?
Well, actually, I kind of identified with that. I was just looking around at this God damn hippies. And I just had visions of napalm raining down on this fucking bullshit.
You knew it was coming.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm sure, even though I took the Potter World test and I'm apparently a Gryffindor. I think that was just to appease me. I think probably in my heart and soul I'm more Ravenclaw or Hufflepuff. So maybe the communal living hippie space wouldn't be so bad. Hugs all the time, you guys. Wouldn't that be
Free
great?
hugs, yeah.
The cloud is making me sad. Can someone give me a hug?
I'm going to have to read these books. I feel like I'm missing out.
You are, Steve.
Yeah.
So missing
No,
out.
I was only
Totally.
joking.
Yeah.
Sarcastic.
Yeah, and there's 7 movies you can watch as well.
And
anyway.
before I finish my feedback, I have one more thing to say that I'll speak vaguely about because it's towards the end of the film.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a scene where Triss and Four, much like the other films, are having to run away from something in the nick of time to escape whatever. And there's a whole convoluted sequence where finally it looks like they might be okay. And then she decides to kind of go back to what was going to inevitably happen anyways if nobody had intervened trying to save them. And then it just becomes a question of, so what was the last 20 minutes of this movie about? Because we're exactly where we started.
Yeah.
Also, the worst line of dialogue in this whole film is Janine, played by Kate Winslett, being like, it's a box, but only the Divergent can open the box. It's just like the lamest. Like, I have a box here and I can't open it. Can someone find a Divergent for me? It's just... Anyways, yeah.
In fairness, I thought Kate Winslet was quite good as a bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah, she seems to.
But that dialogue was terrible. Like, the line that she was given there, like...
Yeah,
come on.
I mean, yeah, she's got some really poor stuff to work with. You do feel sorry for her, but yeah, she's not the worst aspect of this movie.
Oh, no.
I think.
So obviously this movie isn't aimed at us.
No.
So who's it aimed at? Who's going to
Well, I would...
Young adults.
As somebody
How
who
young,
as somebody who paid to read the second book, I'm at least partially covered by this target demographic, and I still find the movie disappointing. But I was having a think about it, and I think maybe a younger reader of the books might enjoy the films, because the film has, like, famous people in it. There's Kate Winslet, Shailene Woodley, and whoever the brooding guy is. I'm sure he's cute by, like, 13-year-old girl standards. And,
He's 30, actually.
yeah, I know. I'm saying 13-year-old girls might be into it, though.
He's old. He's ancient. For a 13-year-old girl.
And like, there's action, there's a bit of romance and kissing, and, maybe if you were younger, you wouldn't see the predictability or futility of some of the plot points. So I think a younger YA reader who would go to the cinema with their friends...
And you'd never seen a movie before.
I think, like,
can see how this
maybe the
would work.
13 to 15-year-old range, it actually might be a pretty good movie.
Okay, yeah.
And because of that, that's going to sway my scoring of this film.
Yeah. Because of the demographic that it's aimed
Because
at.
I think that the people who maybe, the movie was made for, it's fairly decent.
It's Twilight, isn't it?
Well, I like Twilight.
Yeah, but we all have our problems. Mark does as well, but I love him.
I always say that I feel like one of the weirdest aspects of this pregnancy so far is that as soon as I found out I was pregnant, all I wanted to see was the Twilight where Bella gets eaten by the monster baby inside her. And I can't explain it, but there you have it.
You're a fucking strange person.
I'm not even trying.
Just walk away.
I cannot tell you how many times I've seen that movie recently. I won't. I'll keep a little dignity.
So this is a fairly big budget as well. And
Huge.
What?
Huge.
Huge. And there's some things that, I don't know, just logic didn't dictate. Now, I don't want to be nitpicking and stuff. But the train, it didn't make sense.
I love the train.
Why would you have two sets of carriages going beside it? Why not have it longer?
No, I love double trains. I looked at it, I thought, why don't we have double trains?
Because
that'd be cool.
Then you can only have trains going in one direction. If you have a single train, you can have another one going the other direction.
And
they didn't even have things that fit across that needed the width.
And then,
so there was absolutely no point in them.
Then you can create employment in our fucked economy, building extra train lines. Instead of having 2, you have 4.
Yeah, no.
With super awesome trains going each way that you could jump in front of and just get out of the way in time.
All right, in this one you'll get double hit. I don't know. The effects were good. The CGI was good.
there was some pretty good CGI scenes.
It's got it's great.
There was one in one of the Sims that looked really cool.
Yes, it did. Yeah. I mean, it was. It was pretty flowing. It didn't stop for too long. It didn't get bored. I was reasonably entertained. It did have problems with dialogue and story, but it wasn't that bad. It wasn't. It wasn't as bad as Divergent, I have to say, because I thought that was just ridiculous. But thank goodness they sort of left out that whole, you must do this job aspect to it.
Yeah.
And the
end was good.
The end was great.
There's a good twist.
It ended nicely. The screen went dark. Yay! And it wasn't too long as well, which was kind of good too. Would I recommend it? No. Maybe to 12, 13-year-old. Maybe. Probably. But, not for me. I'm going to give this a 4. Yeah. I think 4 is fair, actually. Yeah. How about you?
I was going to give it a 4, and I've talked myself into giving it a 5, because I think for the right person, and for the reasons that you just mentioned, the CGI is pretty good, it flows as a movie, I didn't want to stab my eyeballs out watching it. I just kind of laughed a bit at some of the dialogue and the predictability, but that might have come partially from the source material. So I think it's fine. Like if you like YA, if you've read the books, if maybe you're a bit younger, or even if you're on a plane and you're 30-something years old and maybe you're a bit hungover, you don't want to talk to the person beside you, and this comes on, watch it. It's not that bad. 5 out of 10.
Okay. Mike.
It's a bit crap. And even though I know it's not aimed at me, I'm looking at it and trying to compare it with its peers, like Harry Potter and the Hunger Games and Twilight, and it doesn't compare to any of those.
No, you're right.
So, even on its own terms, it's not strong. So I'm going to give it a 4.
Fair.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Next up, we have first of our TV, Bloodline. Did you see this? Do you want to tell us about it?
Oh God! I was ready to talk about Insurgent, not about Bloodline. All right, let me see. Bloodline is starring
keep you on your toes.
Kyle Chandler, who we would probably know best from Friday Night Lights, who plays Coach. And the movie centers around, or at least the pilot, I should say. It kind of watches a bit as a movie, but it is a pilot on Netflix. There is a homecoming of a family to the resort that the parents own, because it looks like a dock is going to be dedicated to the father. Something
it
was a dock going to be dedicated
pier
to
or something.
Pier, maybe that was it.
A boat stoppy thing.
Yeah, something to do with water. Because the parents own a resort. So all the family congregates on the resort for this weekend, and as you might guess, as you're going through all the siblings, we have some clash of personalities. The character that Kyle Chandler plays is, of course, the serious do-gooder, and then he's got a sister who's a bit free-loving, and then there's the other brother who's kind of like the renegade badass black sheep of the family. And the interesting thing about the pilot is that it keeps flashing forward to Kyle Chandler's character, whose name was
Sheriff John, was it?
I don't know.
Or John Rayburn, I think.
Okay.
I think, yeah.
Well,
Danny was played by Ben Mendelsohn.
Okay.
Yeah.
It keeps flashing forward to those two brothers in a scene where it looks like Danny's in trouble, and we have a voiceover from Kyle Chandler saying, I don't know why we did what we did to our brother, So anyways, you're watching this weekend.
We did a bad thing, but we're not bad people.
That's it. And you're watching this weekend unfold, and you're wondering, how does it go from like a harmless peer dedication ceremony and speeches and some wine, some beach volleyball, to what looks like the death of a brother, possibly a murder, who knows? So that is what we saw in the pilot of Bloodline.
Yeah. I was left with many questions after it.
Were you?
Yeah. Anyway, I'll get to those. But who else is in Sissy Spacek, Sam Shepard, as I said, Kyle Chandler, Ben Mendelsohn, Netflix.
Yes, Netflix is in this.
Good stuff, Netflix. So yeah, Danny comes back to town. You're like, why is he back?
Well, because he was asked to come back because of his parents.
Yeah, because he must come back and help them out with their hotel business thing. Yeah,
yes. He wants to return permanently to the resort.
Yeah. Why are they not people? Why are they not bad people? What did Danny do? Who's the dead girl? How come she's so pretty in the swamp? Why did they cut to like another scene, never mention her again?
I got really confused by the editing of this episode. The time I don't know if it's that there were two brothers who looked alike, so I kept getting confused about Danny and another brother. I think maybe looked similar.
There's a middle brother,
like a shaggy type brother.
Yeah, he had an argument with over who should sit where.
Yeah, and he and Danny look alike, so maybe that's where my confusion is coming from. But it seems like there are scenes where it's not clear if there's a flashback or flash forward, or it's somebody else on the island at the same time. And so you're just kind of like, wait, what's happening now? Who am I looking at? I don't understand this development. Maybe I just get confused very easily. Did anyone else have that problem?
Specsavers, maybe?
I'm wearing glasses right now.
No, I agree with you. I found the narrative very difficult to follow. I was thinking, hang on, am I supposed to care about this? I'm still not caring about this. Oh, let's switch to something else.
There was
maybe I'll care about that.
Actually, that's it being a pilot. There was a lot of that, but I think it's one of those sort of there's the base done, and there are greater things to come because I've heard fantastic things about the rest of the season.
I've heard great
from the
things.
Pilot, I'm sort of going, what's all right.
What's the hype?
There's a lot about people, and I'm not really grabbed by it, but I think that's what they're doing is just sort of setting the base, setting the scene.
But there's more direct ways of doing it. You know, you're struggling even by the end of the episode to figure out who, which brother is which, and
maybe.
Yeah. Why do you care about any of it? And
I
don't like. What was the crux of that pilot? Like, what did we learn that's supposed to hook us? Except for the fact that maybe a brother dies or is murdered,
or maybe that happened a long time ago,
or maybe that pretty girl was somehow involved. Yeah.
So our curiosity is supposed to be piqued.
Yeah, by something that may have happened in the
may
past,
or may not have happened.
Will happen in the future.
But that's the thing; you get this essence of like it's a grand scale story. I guess the narration does that too, where you think, "Oh, right, this is going to be a big thing. I must listen in here." And he's giving us backstory, so it must be quite a large story, because that's what I'm usually doing. But, I didn't get that impression from the pilot. But.
Like, it reminded me a little bit, this is giving it too much credit now, but it reminded me a little bit of the narration from True Detective, where it starts with something kind of fairly routine, like a police investigation, but then it was the narration that leads you to believe, oh, there's an epic story they're going to tell here.
Yeah.
But I wasn't hooked like I would have been for True Detective. Although True Detective was still a burner for me. It took a few episodes, or at least a second episode before I was just like, all right, this looks good.
Yeah.
But Bloodline didn't do that. For me, anyways, it didn't succeed in making me think like, oh man, what's the story here? Because I didn't care enough about any of their characters or any of their relationships to care about what was going to happen to them in the future, even if it meant one of their deaths. I was like,
was there too many characters?
Maybe.
There's a lot of characters.
I think
it's okay to have a lot of characters. It depends how much attention you put on them.
I guess, Game of
And
Thrones.
I was just going to say Game of Thrones.
But we did need a second episode to get into that one.
But Game of Thrones zeroes in episode per episode.
True,
Whereas this, it's just shotgun. You're going to get 20 seconds here. You're getting 30 seconds there.
Yeah. But having like a family reunion on a resort where everyone's like just having a party, I don't know if that makes...
I think that's their house, though.
Is it their house?
In Florida Keys, yeah.
Oh, well, whatever it is. See, well, the first scene is people showing up and being like, can't we extend our stay here? And she's like, I'm sorry, it's booked out. So they had to leave, and then the family arrives. So that's
the hotel business.
That's why I assumed that it was a resort not that they're home. But maybe, see, if
I know,
we don't even understand the basics here. I don't know where they are. So I don't know if this plot device was all that successful, because I think that's why maybe our description of the episode is a bit all over the place, because there's not really much to hone in on. It's kind of, you meet people at a party, and then there's a flash forward, there's a dead girl in the water.
And they all think he's the black sheep, who seems to be the main character, really. Or the main protagonist.
Yeah.
And I thought this episode, it's almost its main function was to tell us that that's the story, and then to show us more about his personality, like his interaction with Kyle Chandler's wife.
Yeah.
That was that conversation. And
who is so much younger than him. I
know, yeah.
Is anyone going to address the fact that she looks like his daughter? It was kind of creepy.
Lucky dog.
Yeah. And then there was the whole conversation that Ben Mandelson had with his buddy down at the dock when he first arrived. There's that kind of side to it. But anyway, we've a clear picture of him and what he does. We've a clear picture of his older brother, the sheriff dude, and kind of what he does and what he may or may not be involved in. God, it's going to be a long night. Yeah, when he finds the body,
Yeah.
How many bodies do you find a week? Like, so, but aside from that, there's not a whole lot that has me interested. And for a pilot, it's not a great pilot.
No.
There was a hook, but it wasn't that strong a hook.
Yeah.
Sort of like, really?
Like,
okay.
I think
so that's how it ends.
If we compare to, Shaun was saying last week when we were talking about The Returned, he didn't think it was a great pilot because, you and I, Steve, knew, well, actually all of us, because you watched the French version as well, didn't you, Mike? We all kind of knew what the season held and how good it was going to get. Yeah. So maybe we projected some of that into the pilot, whereas Shaun
we had a different perspective on it.
Just looked at the pilot and he's like, I see a story about one girl, there's one kind of shit actor kid who's a lost boy. He's just like, there was nothing here to hook me. And although I disagree with him because, I don't know, for whatever reason, it's that same kind of problem I have here that it's just like, maybe with time, people will tell me that this show is so awesome that I will force myself to sit through the boring beginning until there's a hook. But until that happens, and even if that does happen, it doesn't even necessarily mean I'll go back to it. I don't think I would watch this again. And part of that is just due to the fact that Netflix has so many good shows on right now that, I do watch Netflix regularly, but I would go to one of their other many great shows before I'd put on Bloodline again. Someone would have to tell me that there is something really incredible for me to sit through more episodes to get to the good stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it is a crowded market, and for a pilot, you've got to punch through it, and really get people, because there's 30 other shows you can watch. Yeah. I don't think this did this.
Yeah. Like, I still haven't watched Netflix's Fargo, and that's going to get on the list before I watch more Bloodline.
You haven't seen Fargo?
No, and I know after the Bikies this year,
Sorry.
it moved.
Sorry. No. I mean Fargo. You haven't seen Fargo?
I have not seen Fargo.
Ah, Jesus.
No. No.
I don't think you're even qualified to be sitting here, Shona.
I know. I've been telling you that since day one.
Steve is going to hassle the shit out of you now until you watch that.
Do you know I have somebody at work who is hassling me to see The Demolition Man?
What? Stallone?
Yeah.
Sly Stallone?
Yeah.
Why?
Because it's atrocious that I haven't seen it. Have you guys seen it?
Yes, I saw it a long time ago.
Opinions?
It's fucking great. It's
Standard
Sylvester
viewing?
Stallone blowing shit up.
Standard viewing requirements?
No, really.
No, it wouldn't be in the same league as Predator now or something.
Okay.
But,
no, it's sure. What's his name?
It's something you should have seen.
Who's the evil dude in the villain? In it? He murders someone in the face.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. So, anyways, I have a backlog of things I need to watch that people keep insisting I see. So, that's why Bloodline doesn't make it to my viewing list.
Yeah. Well, if you're putting a 1990s movie ahead of it,
I'll bump it up a bit.
Yeah. So we're going to watch. You already said
not me.
You're not going to watch any more of this. You know what? I enjoyed it what I was watching, but I'm probably not going to watch any more of it.
Yeah, I was bored out of my bicky watching this. There's not a notion I'll watch another one unless it comes back in 3 years and it's won 50,000 awards.
Ever. Yeah.
But some other asshole's going to have to watch it for me.
Okay, next up we've got the second of our movies, which is Robot Overlords. This stars Gillian Anderson and Ben Kingsley. Earth has been conquered by robots from a distant galaxy. Survivors are confined to their houses and must wear electronic implants, risking incineration by robot sentries if they venture outside.
Dun dun dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
So this is directed by John Wright. Do you remember the sci-fi Grabbers? That was set in Ireland. There was an alien invasion, but to stop being eaten by the aliens, you had to be pissed all the time.
Oh, yeah,
Do you remember
yeah,
that?
yeah.
That
It was about
same
2
guy,
years ago, yeah.
So you
yeah.
had to drink yourself stupid and you were safe. So everyone was locked all the time.
Oh my god.
That was only a couple of years ago, yeah.
No stereotypes there, though.
Any excuse, huh?
Yeah.
No alien invasion or anything, you know. So yeah, this is a neat movie. It's 90 minutes long.
Mhm.
It's out in the US, I think, in June. It's out here since the 27th, I think it was. So this was obviously filmed on a budget.
Mhm.
It's I would put it in the family sci-fi adventure genre.
Yeah, family caper.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah.
But if it was on a budget, how did they get Ben Kingsley and Gillian Anderson in it?
I'd say that's where most of the budget went.
Yeah.
And the other half of the budget must have been on CGI.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Most of it was filmed between Northern Ireland and the Isle of Man. Actually, the castle in it is Carrickfergus Castle.
Is it? Ah,
Yeah, yeah,
Did not spot that.
yeah. So the adventure begins with the youngest member of the troupe of buddies witnessing his father being zapped by the aliens when he's just had enough and can't take it, man. And Gillian Anderson takes him in, as her husband had suffered a similar fate in her eyes. And so her son and this young orphan and several other friends discovered that they can deactivate their implants and so go outside for without being detected. Yeah, let's say. And they get up to all sorts of adventures to
All
get
sorts
rid
of
of
adventures.
these aliens. Yeah. So what did we think?
I hadn't heard about this movie, and I went to go see it without any knowledge of the movie, which is great fun. But I expected this to be an adult animated cartoon. You know,
right.
like is it who's that animation group that make all these animation things that we watch, the cartoons?
Pixar.
No, like the adult ones, like Robot Chicken and is it Adult Swim?
Adult Swim.
Adult
Yeah.
Swim,
Yeah.
yeah.
I thought this was going to be an Adult Swim film.
Did you?
I am not
All right.
even kidding. So I was really surprised, especially I thought it was really cool in the opening sequence how it gives you kind of a history of the robot war that lasted, you know, the invasion lasted 11 days, and it paints a really grim picture, and it says, you know, the robots are here to study humans, and once they're done, they'll leave and never come back. And their requests are simple. Humans don't go outdoors. And you're like, ooh, that sounds pretty dark. And as you said, we go right into the film where this guy runs out into the street because he just can't take being a prisoner in his own home anymore. And then he's killed for it by a robot because they're being tracked. And I was like, man, like that was 8 minutes. I remember thinking that like 8 minutes into the film, and I was like, wow, we've covered a lot of territory so far. I've got a history of a robot war. It's a grim picture. I've met these characters. Somebody's died. So my expectations were high. And then, yeah, shortly after that, it becomes clear that this is more of like family outing versus the robots.
Yeah.
You know, it kind of becomes a cutesy Disney take on how you would deal with robot artificial intelligent tyranny. I would like to see the grown-up version of this film. You know, if they made it darker, I think it would be really cool to see. I liked the premise of the film, but the execution itself was a bit friendly. Now that said, I didn't know that this was a movie made on a budget because nothing to me looked cheap in it. So I have to give it credit where it's due. That I think it did a good job with what it was doing. The robots looked, you know, I guess what you'd expect from a robot. They weren't like huge Transformers type sequences, but I never thought anything looked cheap.
No.
You know, the cinematography was good.
Budget of $21 million, by the way.
Okay.
Yeah. So not that big, really, in
For a
today's
film,
terms.
yeah.
Jesus, Tom Cruise wouldn't get out of bed for that. Yeah.
True, yeah.
So, I mean, the more that the film went on, the less I cared, and that continued up until the end. But I thought it started really strong, and seemed okay.
Mike.
Much though I hate to admit it, I kind of agree with Shona. You've two great lead actors that aren't being given the lead. They put the kids in the middle, and they're the driving force of it. And all the talent is left on the sideline. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing?
Well, I think they couldn't afford to give Gillian Anderson any actual plot, so they were just like, you get to sweep in and hug them.
I was just thinking, maybe she was booked for 5 days.
That's it.
And shooting it. That was it. So we'll shoot this bit and this bit.
And then let the kids fill in the rest. But that said, it wasn't bad. It was well shot.
Yeah.
As you said, the special effects were all right.
Yeah.
There was no point where I said, that really looked crap.
Yeah.
Robots coming over the mountain. I actually kind of believed there was robots coming over the mountain.
There was no dude dressed up in a dustbin or anything.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. It was quite convincing.
Yeah. Some guy with an iPhone for a face or something. Yeah. And I did like the alien representative. He had some kind of freaky thing going on with his face.
That's a good thing to
Is that what
hone in on.
Yeah. He was in The Huntsman, actually. Yeah.
He's probably more than 2 foot tall in real life, I would say.
Not much.
Okay.
If any. Yeah.
But I liked that they picked a really weird, generic kind of human face that's not quite human, that the robots had obviously created to represent them as their voice. And they never really get into any explanation of how this humanoids came to be.
Yeah.
But
he's the mediator 4'5"
Yeah. But like I
he's
like
actually
that.
4'1". Sorry.
Okay.
But like I like that they didn't go into over explanation, but it's clear from the way that the character is acting and what you see in the film that like it's this weird creation from the robots that doesn't really quite look human, but it's trying to approximate a human form to relate to the human. I thought that was a really neat device.
Whatever way they shot it was kind of, maybe it looked kind of like they took out every second or third frame.
Yeah.
As they filmed it. And it worked really well.
Yeah.
It gave it a very digital feel for a human character.
Yeah.
And did you notice the disconnect between the mouth movements and the eye movements?
I didn't actually. No.
The mouth is kind of going at one speed, and the eye movements and facial expressions on the upper face are doing a different kind of tempo.
Oh, really?
Yeah, which I thought was kind of cool.
Oh, neat.
But
that's what it was. Yeah.
One thing that kind of wrecked it a little bit for me was logistics, because I thought,
here we go.
I had a great belly laugh when they said the war lasted 11 days. I have to say, that was hilarious. But then I thought, okay, we'll assume, 6 billion people are dead. That still means there's 1 billion people left locked in their houses. So how the fuck do they get food to everybody?
Yeah.
That was the first thing I thought about. Like, how has industry not just, like, how people haven't just died? Because you have to make food or slaughter food or collect food or grow food in order to get it to people to feed them if they can't leave their home.
Yeah.
And that's never addressed.
No, it's not addressed. Although, in fairness, for a Sunday afternoon family movie,
they never addressed talking fucking lions in the line. So, like, it's brain at the door, folks. Right? You can't pick on it because of stuff like that, How are they so clean?
Yeah. That's actually something that also stuck out to me about Insurgent, is that every time they leave a faction, they've got, like, fresh clothes, and it's like, so what part of your impoverished world, like, you get a new wardrobe every day?
Urban Outfitters,
There's an Urban Outfitters and Insurgent.
Yeah. And people who just kind of get dirty on their cheek.
See, the reason it irks me, Steve, is because in the event of a zombie apocalypse, I need to take notes from people in these scenarios.
You're watching this for information.
Well, I watch everything for informational purposes if it's going to help me survive a zombie apocalypse. Plan A is always come here, drink myself to death. But I'm always looking for a plan B in case maybe Mike drinks all the wine before I get here.
No, you come here if it's grabbers are here.
It depends on the type of apocalypse that's happening. You guys can just send me a text, let me know, so I know how to prepare for the particular zombie apocalypse.
It's apocalypse A, B, or C.
My only problem with this now, it wouldn't be a problem if I was watching it from the perspective of a younger member of a family that is watching this. But it's just my problem with it is kids saying stuff that kids wouldn't say.
Yeah.
That always drives me nuts.
It's kind of like the Goonies almost, isn't it? Like,
it's just like, Jesus. No.
Hey, don't knock the Goonies. It's a fucking great movie.
It happened in 71 as well. I commented on that as well. But there's only one line of it in 71. You know, apart from that, for what it is, it reminds me of sort of, I don't know, Doctor Who or something like that from the 70s or the 80s. Those kind of TV movies. That kind of standard of story and it being a gang of kids saving the world type story, you know. There's loads of BBC made a ton of them, you know. And it had that real feel about it. And I didn't think it was too bad. I'd be surprised if they don't make a lot of money. Once word gets out that, you know, who it's actually being aimed at, you know. So, yeah, I didn't think it was too bad.
There was a few plot points that kind of annoyed me. There was this weird princess imagery in the film that I don't know if Disney was trying to tap into, but, you know, Gillian Anderson is taken to a castle.
Oh, yeah.
And then she, like, escapes on a horse, and there's a horse
What the fuck
riding
was that
down
all
the beach. It was the most random scene in a movie about, like, a robot war. Gillian Anderson is galloping down a beach on horseback.
Look, I've seen horses in worse, but Thor.
Yeah.
Thor. Thor, where they have this, they're superheroes, and they've got this time travel portal thing between dimensions. How does they get there? On fucking horses.
I liked it at the beginning.
You know, so this wasn't that much of a stretch, really.
I liked it at the beginning of your rant. You were so incensed that all you could say was Thor, Thor,
Fucking Thor.
3 times.
His tongue stopped working.
Why are there horses in Thor? Yeah, so I mean, there was that weird kind of, captured damsel in distress stuck in a castle escaping on horse that was really incongruent with the whole robot apocalypse thing. And that whole imagery, and I just don't understand that aspect of the plot. It kind of lost me there, and I think that's when I began to lose interest.
Started to crumble.
Yeah, it started to crumble a bit for me. And then by the time I got to the end, I was like, what's happening? Oh, I don't care. It doesn't matter. So, it started strong.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you think even young, like very young viewers, like 8, 9, would accept the weirdness of the hero and his special power?
Yeah, I'd say to just go with it.
Like, it's completely fucking
they're just
irrational.
he probably discovered it's a Unix system.
Yeah.
You know,
To them, it's not even a superpower. I bet the kids these days, they'd be like, I'd know how to deprogram that robot. All you need to do is, you know.
It's not that huge a jump considering what has happened before. Considering the whole scenario.
Well, it is a bit of a jump because there's no prelude to it. There's no kind of, training montage or anything.
I'd be going over to the robots and being like, excuse me, are you like a C++ or Java-based script? Just so I know how to hack into your mainframe properly. Not like I would know any of those things. I'd be more like, where's the water I can pour on your electronics? Yeah, I forgot the weird power of the protagonist, which I thought was kind of poorly done as well.
It just kind of happens, you know?
Yeah, and then you're like, it's not really clear when it happens what's happening, and then when it's exploited later on for plot development, it's like, oh, that did that? It was kind of weakly explored. And I think, I'm going to sound really old saying this. I'm going to sound as old as you, Mike, so maybe,
man, don't
maybe
go
you'll
that
agree
far,
with
man.
me. Hey, listen, we've already agreed twice today, so we might as well just like...
Game over.
Look, this guy remembers writing the scriptures. So he was involved.
Did you write Job's chapter?
Have a good attempt at it there.
Kids nowadays.
Kids these days.
Kids these days.
Just say, eh? Kids these days, eh?
Kids these days.
Yeah.
I think they have maybe a more mature palette than we give them. Like, I think sometimes it's easy to look at films for younger audience and kind of expect them to be dumbed down. But then when you see kids' films that are done really well, like Harry Potter, for example, you know, part of the brilliance is that there's a complexity there that, you know, different levels of understanding can make you enjoy the film in different ways. And so even young audiences can be captivated, but that captivation continues. And so I think part of me wants to say maybe a younger audience would enjoy this film, but then it's like, you know what? I bet younger audiences, just like we would probably appreciate something maybe slightly more complex, or that's maybe a bit more finely done. Or maybe they just look at the robotics and be like, I can think of 8 ways to solve that problem. This movie is bullshit. Fuck you and fuck your apocalypse.
Got an app that
Robot
shut that
Overlords.
shit down, no time.
You got the Lion King. Yeah.
Robot Overlords 2 would be about the fact that this movie all takes place in a microcosm of, like, a
Yeah.
child's playroom. You know, it would be like a Lego movie type sub-world.
Right, mark it so.
I'm gonna give it 5.
A 5. Right.
Yeah, and maybe
Okay.
it deserves a 4, but I'm gonna give it a 5.
Mike.
I'm going to take my hat off to Gillian Anderson. She looks better now than she did 20 years ago.
She does, doesn't she?
She does. I fucking deal with the devil.
But then again, you know, we're 20 years older as well, so, you know.
Yeah.
Criteria's changed.
Yeah, so what's infinity plus 20?
Yeah.
Yeah, it could have been a great movie if it was made for adults. I do like the idea, but it's just not good enough. So I'm going to give it a fairly average 5.
Okay. Yeah,
You agreed with me again, Mike. I'm just saying it's
This
either a
is
sign
the
that
thing.
I'm
This is the thing, right?
it's either a sign that I'm
If
old.
Shaun was here, you'd say the streak is on.
Yeah.
Oh no.
This episode can never be broadcast in Nevada. If Shaun hears this, he's
This
going to
is
go
the
apeshit.
thing. Because yeah,
Yes, Steve.
I kind of agree with you.
Oh, God damn it!
Yeah, it's definitely a 5. It's definitely a 5. I mean, I liked it. Like it's not
It's
something
not poorly done.
No, it's not poorly done, and I'm not going to go back and watch it again. I'd say probably not unless I'm watching it with a crowd of kids or something.
Mm-hmm.
But for what it is, it's done well, and
well
with
enough.
the budget it had, what it set out to. It's not pretending to be a super big budget, and it has the whole youth thing focus.
The youth
going
of
on.
today.
Yeah. Kids, eh? Yeah, going on. So yeah, it's definitely a 5. Yeah.
It could be an 8, like if
If it went darker.
they remade it and executed the kids in the first scene.
That's true. It's silence. Yeah.
So I think if this episode of Is It a Bicycle has taught us anything, it's that me sneaking into your rooms at night and playing you a tape recorder that says, Shona is always right. You don't disagree with Shona because Shona is always right. Has finally begun to sink in.
God damn you. Damn you all to hell.
So we have the streak. How about that? Oh, jeez.
Yeah, there's still the fucking trailers to go,
It's
man.
midnight hypnosis. Don't read into the
They're
streak.
the only ones that count, I'm afraid. Okay, so next up we've got some previews coming to a bicycle near you. So the first one we looked at was Slow West, which follows a 16-year-old boy on a journey across 19th century frontier America in search of the woman he loves. He's 16, remember? While accompanied by a mysterious traveller, Silas. So this stars Ben Mendelsohn, Michael Fassbender, and Cody Smith-McPhee. That's the young 16-year-old guy.
Oh,
yeah. So, what do we think of this?
Looks like awful shite.
What do you think?
Yeah.
I was going to say that, Mike, and you were supposed to disagree with me because I thought you would like westerns.
I fucking love westerns, and this looks like a terrible western.
I thought this looks pretty good. Actually.
Yay!
What?
Yeah.
It's a fucking kid.
Yeah. But
Kids have no places in movies.
It's those that it's those that surround him. I think that have me more interested. You know, Michael Fassbender and Ben Mendelsohn, of course. Yeah, I'd watch pretty much anything that Ben Mendelsohn is in at the moment. He's the new McConaughey for me this year. You know, since he was in Startup, I guess that's. I'm sort of. Who else has done that actually? Just on an aside. I was just talking about it the other day. Oh yeah, we're going to talk about him in a moment. Jake Gyllenhaal. Yeah. So anyway, so yeah, I'll watch this. It's a Western. Looks kind of groovy. It's a story of adventure and exploration of new world, pioneers, and so on.
Michael Fassbender chaperoning a 16-year-old kid across the Wild West.
There's that bit as well.
Yeah.
That looks really dumb.
Yeah, like if you.
I mean, like I think most westerns are dumb, to be clear, but this movie in particular looks dumb.
Steady on there.
I needed to make sure that we disagreed at least once tonight, Mike, or I wouldn't sleep tonight.
You're not getting out of here alive. Yeah, like what's going on? There's a middle-aged man takes a random 16-year-old boy under his wing in the wilderness. Come, I'll look after you.
He's just a nice guy.
He's
just a nice guy,
He's
Mike.
Really friendly.
Nothing
Even
subversive going on there,
there's
Mike.
a huge bounty on that guy's head.
Yeah, no.
No ulterior motives here. Let's just protect you.
Yeah, so we're going to be watching this one. Okay, next one was Southpaw, which is about with Jake Gyllenhaal, as I was saying. Can do no wrong at the moment. So he's a successful pro boxer that goes off the rails. He turns out to be a very unsuitable father. Loses his child to social services or someone. But can he win her back through boxing pro again? That's the question.
Yeah.
Dun dun dun. Is it Gyllenhaal or Gyllenhaal?
Gyllenhaal, I'm sure he'd answer to both.
I think Shaun says Gyllenhaal.
Gyllenhaal.
Shaun says Gyllenhaal, doesn't he?
Because there's a Jake Gyllenhaal. I think and Maggie Gyllenhaal. I think it's
Maggie's his sister.
I know.
Oh yeah.
That's why I said both of their names.
Is there another Gyllenhaal?
No.
Or is it Gyllenhaal?
I think it's Gyllenhaal, but I was practicing the last name with both siblings to see which one felt right.
Yeah. Trevor Gyllenhaal. No, that doesn't work, really. No, let's stick with Jake.
I've read a lot about his physical transformation for this film because he is cut.
Oh yeah, he's ripped.
It's kind of gross.
He's
ripped. Just gonna put that out there.
Yeah.
You're not into the veins, no?
When I see that kind of muscle definition on a man, I just think narcissist. So, I mean, you know, obviously, or maybe they're a crazy talented boxer, but I mostly think narcissist.
He's ripped up. Like they say, it's veins. He's got that thing that goes down along the front of your shoulder. You know that one. Then you just know like he's down to 4% body fat or something.
Yeah, it's bizarre.
Vascularity.
I like his accent in this film. Like he seems to really embody this character. I mean, I've read a lot about him taking it on and how amazing he is playing this guy because it's based on a real thing, isn't it?
I don't know. Is it?
Didn't bother my hole to check it.
Yeah, I don't know. We're really well researched on Into the Bicycle. All you research interns, you're fired.
Where is our beer assistant gone anyway? I thought we'd intern somewhere. Lurking behind the couch, Mike? Oh, it's in the hot press. Mission control. Yeah,
that's right. Yeah.
So what do you think of this, Mike?
It's a boxing movie. I'm definitely going to watch it. I'm kind of worried about
the side story aside from the boxing, which seems to be the main part of the story.
Well, Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yeah.
He's a good actor. I like him as an actor, but I don't see him believably as a fighter. He has weak eyes.
Oh.
So I don't.
Did you think so?
Yeah. I don't know if I can believe him in this part. I've liked him in a lot of other parts. He does it really well. Yeah.
They weren't weak eyes.
Yeah, they are a bit.
They were scary eyes.
They were psycho eyes.
Yeah. So I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, he may prove me wrong.
Remains to be seen.
Yeah. But I'm going to watch it anyway.
Yeah. I wouldn't mind giving this a watch, actually. Yeah. I'm kind of iffy about the side story, alright.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it's going to be a bit...
saccharine or...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there anybody called Adriana? Or...
The fighting part looks good. It's kind of becoming a new, popular subgenre of, athletes finds Rocky, I suppose it's like a new take on a Rocky type theme. But, maybe it's like a new, brooding YA hero. You have, brooding ex-athletes hero.
All right.
It's a new
Is it like Foxcatcher kind of thing?
Yeah. But it still looks good. It looks like, for the training and the fighting, and maybe a bit of his backstory in terms of the boxing. Looks like it could be worth a watch at least.
Yeah, agreed. The next one was the 33, or Le 33.
Los.
Los 33.
So this is
How about the Chilean miner?
Antonio.
Yes.
Ferraz. Yeah. So he's a miner. He's a family man. He tussles children's hair and smiles at his wife.
He's really good at parties.
Yeah, he's really good at parties. He's supposed to have tomorrow off, but he asks to work because he needs the money for his wife's birthday or something, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Then he discovers there's only one way in and one way out of the mine. On the way in, as he looks back at the entrance with sort of trepidation.
He looks back with foreshadowy eyes.
He does. And what do you know? The mine entrance tunnel collapses when they're in there.
Who would have thunk it?
So now we get a tale of frustration, a tale of rationing of food, a tale of lies, of
cannibalism.
Men,
is that?
No. Of men digging deep and holding it together in terrible conditions. Their families outside campaigning to have rescue efforts escalated, but lies. Broken promises, more lies, the government, miners, the media, dirty faces, big dirty drills designed and manufactured in Shannon, County Clare by Minecon International, anguish, tension, manly hugs. It's all there.
It is all there.
Oh yeah, man.
All there in the fucking trailer.
Skipping this one. Yeah.
This is based on that news story, right?
Yeah.
The 33
Oh, yeah.
miners who got stuck in a mine. So we already know how it ends because news.
Well, they showed us in the trailer how it ends.
Yeah.
Do they?
They do, yeah. Yeah. We get to see that fantastic drill bit made in Shannon, County Clare, Ireland. Yeah.
Where was that made?
In Shannon, in County Clare, Ireland, by Minecon International.
In Ireland?
Yeah.
Minecon International.
Yeah.
From Shannon.
Yeah.
County Clare, Ireland.
They made drill bits that saved 33 lives.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
this
incredible.
week's episode
It is,
brought to you by...
Hang on, I just need to have a drink of me Rheinenbacher here. Sorry. And so...
this could be a great movie if they had dwarves and a dragon.
And they're fighting over thrones.
Yeah. And there was a shit ton of gold under there.
Yeah, you know what? I really don't want to see this.
No.
No, it's a
bunch of men stuck in a mine that get out of a mine. Nope.
Yeah. I don't really want to see the anguish, frustration, life.
No.
Yeah, what are you going to see?
You know.
Men underground getting hungry and frustrated, people above ground getting frustrated.
You know, it gets hot down there. It'd be all sweaty.
Yeah, that's true.
Filthy.
Excuse me, Steve, stop talking. I'm going to my happy place.
The other 128 minutes of the movie is squeal like a pig.
Oh, Mike, you just
Mike,
ruined it. I was going to ask if they might cast Colin Firth as one of the miners, but then you brought the Deliverance scene into it, and now it's just... Fuck.
Imagine Colin Firth in Deliverance.
Oh, guys, don't!
Playing the banjo.
Don't do that thing.
You'd have Colin Firth bent over the log in his suit.
I don't want to hear it.
Don't do it, Mike.
It was too good to last, Shona. Our agreement to think.
Well, at least we're ending this week's episode, Mike, where the world has gone back to its normal balance.
Yeah, we can all be comfortable in our own places now.
The episode's gone full circle and all is right with the world again.
So we agreed that we're not watching this.
Not watching it.
Yeah, there we go. Wow. Yeah. So, so that's it for this week. And as Jeremy Clarkson used to say, on that bombshell.
Whoa.
All right, so from Mike, Steve, and Shona, stay classy.